back to, I almost said Audiomatic. Welcome back to IMO Reviews. I'm here with my man Doug. You know, it's your boy Spags. I'm here with Doug. Doug, where are you quarantined up at?
I'm over here in Connecticut.
Oh man, that's rough. I mean, your situation's a bit better than New York, but
Yeah,
it's rough to be in the house.
yeah, kind of ruined the plans to move to New York.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Not a great place to move right now.
Yeah,
But
they've
yeah,
got better.
so yeah, right. So for those of you that don't know, Doug, we used to have this show at my college radio station in SUNY Plattsburgh on WQKE. It was called Audiomatic. We talked about hip hop albums. We often talked about Tech N9ne. We're both really big Tech N9ne fans, right?
Yep.
Yep, he's been a fan of him for a while, so I figured we'd talk about his new album, ENTERFEAR. This is the God, what is this, like 20
I,
something
it is.
album from him, right?
I mean, how many years has he been in the game? I mean, he comes out with at least an album a year.
Bro, I feel like sometimes this man will drop like 4 albums a year, and you're like, and then a collaboration one. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, he doesn't need introduction. This man has done so much in hip hop, for the underground scene, for the Midwest scene. This new album, Enter Fear. I'm just gonna kind of dive right into it. So this first track, Just Die, intro one. There's two intros for some reason, but this is intro one. I thought personally this track is a really dark way to open the album. It reminded me a lot of kind of like KOD a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah,
Um, Text kind of talking about some partially suicidal thoughts. I love the verses. I love how he switches his voice. I didn't personally like. I like the screaming on the chorus, right? But I personally didn't like the fucking like the singing. I can't take seriously. Like I kind of laughed. I can't lie. Like
yeah. I mean, I think he came at it with a pretty interesting flow. Just, I think, I think the one thing I like about him is just the fact that you can definitely tell what is him, but he doesn't ever seem like he really repeats himself too much. So, yeah, pretty
yeah.
decent.
He's I mean he's such a when we talk about like I know there's a study with like rappers using like unique words. Like he really is such a wordsmith when it comes to certain things.
You
Um,
know,
yeah, and I was just really impressed with that. And I like the aggression on this track. I like it is so dark and it is so depressing. I don't know, just the singing to me sounded so like it was like whiny. I don't know. Like
yeah,
would you think of what do you think about this as like a start to the album though?
I definitely think it's good. I liked the next. I loved the second intro better,
Hmm.
but that's just my take.
Actually, I like the first one better because I feel like the second one, Tech definitely has a better flow, and those guitars are kind of dope on Succeed. But I feel like I don't know. I've heard Chris Calico so much better before, and like there's something about the like pianos that just like it sounded like corny-ish to me. But Tech and ISO killed the verses. Like I can't even I won't deny that. But
Yeah,
I don't know, the chorus wasn't doing it for me. Like I don't know.
and the title. Why did
Yeah,
you
like and
like?
that's you know like it's weird.
Hmm,
Yeah,
oh, little gay.
a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they thought like the wordplay of like succeed and suck seed was like creative, but like I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of it personally. I didn't like this track as much as the first one, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I think there is something like kind of theatrical about the chorus though, but it wasn't for me. I don't know.
yeah. So moving on with that, what do you think about Dumb?
Outdown was it grew on me over time. I thought like the robotic done voice was like kind of weird, but like over time that
Yeah,
kind of became an earworm for me, where like I found it stuck in my head a lot, like just that weird melody it was. But
thing. Dun.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that shit was pretty cool. Um, Yeah, I like how Tech is highlighting his history in this one, how he's highlighting his growth.
Yeah,
Mhm. It's definitely like, Tech Nine has. We've seen him do this before, but I feel like over this kind of like spacey instrumental with the horns and like that uh, strange atmosphere, like we haven't really heard him rap over something like that necessarily.
yeah, he did have a lot more of an atmospheric tone to this album.
Yeah, overall, especially like the second half is like kind of eerie for a
Yeah,
lot of the songs. Yeah, for sure. I feel like the cover reflects that. Like
yeah, the kind of moody and cloudiness.
yeah, he's got that river of blood. Like it's definitely it's one of my favorite Tech album covers for sure. I would say. But yeah, so the next track. What do you think of "Look What I Did" with Flatbush Zombies?
I'm not gonna lie, I was not a big fan of it. It just seemed like the most forgettable track.
Actually, I love this one personally. Because I feel like I don't know. I feel like Flatbush like I feel like they phoned in the verse like a little bit, but like it still sounds hard. And I like who's the guy Jerry. I don't know what his name is. What is it?
Robinson.
Yeah,
Uh,
I like his hook. I feel like his voice sounded like it was scratchy, but it sounded kind of unique to me. And I don't know. To me, it's just like it's a banger. But I get how like compared to the other tracks, it is a bit generic. I get what you're saying with that.
I think it was just the fact that it had Flatbush Zombies in it kind of just made me think like it was going to be something a little bit higher.
Like you expected more.
Yeah,
Yeah, I definitely I agree with that with the Flatbush verses because although they sound good, like when I looked into the lyrics, I was like, I feel like they wrote this one like real. Like you can listen to the song Monica with Tech N9ne. I feel like they put more effort into that.
yeah,
Even
yeah,
like the end of what is it, Michi's verse, he just repeats the last two lines again. I was like, I feel like you just kind of wrote this one real quick because like you wanted to be on it.
yeah, yeah.
Like I don't know, but I get that. I do. When it comes to Flatbush, I have high expectations, and we've talked about their music before too, for sure. Um, okay, the next track. Yeah, no. I mean, what'd you think of that one?
I love that one.
Me too.
I
Me too.
I think Mackenzie Nicole. Like
Yeah.
he had a great flow on it.
hmm
Loved it.
Yeah, I mean, her vocals are like it's moody, it's haunting, it's you mentioned before about the second half of the project being like atmospheric. It definitely gave off that vibe. Like the lyrics are dark but like assertive. It's almost
Yeah,
like Tech like asserting himself as like we were talking about him being a veteran before. I feel like this is just him like reaffirming that in like a very assertive way of
yeah.
everything he's done or everything he's inspired. And yeah, Mackenzie, disclaimer too, like she's kind of hot. I don't know, like she's kind of hot. I'm not gonna lie, man. I like the chicks that be into like weird stuff. She seems like that. So like, like I don't know, but she actually I don't know if you knew this. So she's Travis O'Gwyn, the owner of Strange Music. That's his daughter.
Oh really?
Yeah, so that's the CEO's daughter, and she was on a few songs, but now she's kind of starting to like, I think, have her own individual career a bit like
Yeah.
with the label. But
I say, what did she? What other tracks was she on before? Was she on? I think Habanero.
she was on Habanero. That was her. That was an awesome hook. I love that hook so much. That was great.
Yeah.
Um, I definitely liked. She was on the title track for KOD, but she was like so young then because she's
Yep.
around. She's a
That
bit
was
younger than us. But yeah, I mean she's featured before, but she's never really had like her own solo like. But I agree with you though with her vocals. I think it flows amazing. I think the her voice is excellent.
yeah,
I think Tech killed it with that aggression. I love it. So
yeah.
mhm. um, Doctor
Dr. Shabbat.
Doctor Shabbat. What do you think about this one?
I like it. it caused me to have to Google who he is.
Dude, me too. I was like, who is this?
I had no idea who Dr. Chabal was.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of got it based off of the other lines in the chorus, but it's like, who is he?
Yeah, like he never really. He keeps saying, well, I guess the line makes sense later on. Like he's saying, like anti-aging. They think I'm seeing Doctor Chabat because, well, for our audience doesn't know, Doctor Chabat is a French doctor who is famous for like these anti-aging medications and remedies that he works with. So, right. So this song, to me, it seemed like it was Tech basically saying, like, because he's old, like we talked about before, but like he remains kind of youthful in his music. He remains relevant even as he grows older. So I feel like it was him kind of alluding to that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. What do you think about? I'm really on the fence about. I like how catchy the hook is and his flow. I don't know how I feel about him screaming Dr. Shabbat because sometimes I hear it and it's annoying, and sometimes I hear it I'm like, this is hard as fuck. Yeah, like I don't like.
I think it's hard. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's got like a metal quality. Would you say, right? Like
What?
it's kind of like metal, in a sense, right? Would you say?
Yeah. That yell, yeah.
Yeah. In this track too, in Doctor Shabbat, there's a feature from Land and Fire. Upon I know you watched the music video, so you know he's like 13.
Yeah, I had no clue that he was like a 13-year-old kid.
When I first heard it, I didn't see the video. I thought it was like a girl.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, but what do you think of his verse? Like, especially considering his age, though.
I mean, that's amazing for being a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
I definitely think that the flow is amazing, and that's, I think, about 90% of the poll. I mean, he doesn't have, like, crazy good lyrics, but the flow is, he can keep up.
Yeah, no, I think the lyrics are definitely a little, like, spiritual, lyrical, but, like...
Bada boom, bada bing.
Yeah. Bada boom, bada bing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm considering the kid's 13, like I'm really impressed with it. I do think it does sound a little weird to hear him next to Tech, not because like I think Tech flows better because I feel like honestly they're kind of equal in that respect, but I think Tech sounds so much more powerful on this track that it's weird to then hear like this kid. Although I will say like for his age he's really good, but like it definitely was like it's kind of night and day. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
but I was impressed with that though. So okay, the next song is question mark this, which ends in an exclamation mark and not a question mark. But um, what do you think about this one? I know it has a feature. I think her name is like Lexi something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lexi Blatcher. Blatcher.
Oh, Lexi. Okay, it was Lex Bratcher. Yeah, yeah. What do you think about this track, like overall, at this point in the album?
I don't know. It wasn't exactly my favorite out of it. At some points, it kind of seemed to blend.
Like with the other songs, yeah, I kind of feel that.
That and Chris Calico,
Mm-hmm.
his background tend to work pretty well with it. I didn't really get anything off of it besides his flow.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I feel like honestly, Lex is like probably the best verse on here, and I feel like I don't know. This track was weird for me because I was like, there's nothing bad about it, but it doesn't stand out compared to like the other tracks we've talked about. Like, it's just kind of. I feel like we take this one out and it wouldn't even like change the album flow. I don't know.
I also think just on the album as a whole, it tends to fall apart about halfway through.
Yeah, with the second half.
There's still some good tracks, but it starts getting a little bit more murky.
I'm glad you mentioned that because actually, like, I don't see that. I don't know if we should skip to like the song I want to talk about, but like, yeah, let's do that. We can always go back. Okay, I feel that way about the song "Leave It on the Flow" because like,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, what is this about? Like,
There's no reason for that to be there.
no, and like, look, it's cool to do narrative tracks, but like. It's like he's talking about like he's gonna have a three with these girls, and then like now he's at like a Halloween party or something, and then the room of
And
the kid he goes into. What'd
I
you say?
in the bathroom now for some reason. I don't get it.
Yeah, and then he no okay, and then so like for anyone who hasn't heard the song, so like basically he runs into like the wrong room, and he's like, "Yo, this is a kid's room," and it's fucking Landon Fire, the 13-year-old rapper from the track before, and like, yo,
Weird. It
it's
got weird.
weird. It's a little creepy, right? Like it's a little, I don't know.
Yeah. The the one example, the one difference that I really liked from this album is "Feel So Sad."
Yeah, okay, that one I was gonna say is really
I
good.
expect that.
Yeah, and I think that
I feel like if you were to get a you know queer sympathetic song, you weren't going to get that from Tech.
yeah, yeah,
But then I'm just it caused me to pause what I was doing and just listen to that. It was a good song, kind of a little bit like, hey guys, can't we all just get along? But
do you feel
a little
like
bit.
in that respect, like as much as it grabbed your attention, but do you feel like it's too preachy, or do you feel like he hit the mark with like the narrative of it?
I like it because just the eeriness of it and
Hmm.
just kind of how foggy and out of left field it seems. I feel like it really seems to fit, especially in the latter half of this album.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned that before. You were talking about it's the second half is very eerie, very atmospheric.
Yeah,
I agree. I think it definitely fits that. It sounds like there's this episode of like BoJack Horseman where like he goes into like this old like childhood room in his house, and there's like this weird like singing. It sounds just like this girl, and it was meant to be like a eerie like horror movie esque kind of vibe. Um, and I like her melody on it. I think it's a good hook. I think it fits the theme a lot. Um,
yeah. So after this one, what was the next song that really grabbed you? Because at this point, we're starting to get to ones that, eh,
yeah, dude, I agree. I mean, I don't know if it really grabbed my attention, but "Leave It on the Flow" Part Two. I feel like I don't even know why the first song like needed a part two. You know what I mean? Like,
what happened after he walked into a child's bedroom trying to have a three-way?
yeah, like, oh, that's the other thing with
It makes you wonder. Not about what happens next. It really makes you think what happened before they decided to do this, but it makes you think.
yeah, man. It's really it's a like okay. Tech's brand is definitely creepy, but this is like the kind of creepy like people don't want to hear. You know what I mean? Like it's and with the part one too, like Landon Fire's verse, I noticed this because I looked at the lyrics. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't really follow the narrative of like oh man, some guy just like broke in my room. It's literally like Tech N9ne accidentally walks in the kid's room. The kid just kind of like raps random shit, and then is like the bathroom's that way. Like it makes no sense. It makes no sense, dude. I don't know. And again, like the kid's good, but like I agree with you lyrically. I feel like I don't know. Did you like
yeah.
that verse more than the Dr. Shabbat verse, or did you feel like
I think I like the Dr. Shabal one. I think that's just, yeah. I think that's where I fall on it.
yeah? And I think that one made more sense and like had more vocal variations from Land and Fire, and Yeah, I definitely like that one better. But yeah, Leave It on the Flow Part 2, I don't know. Like, I don't even like the beat on this one. I don't even like the verses. I don't know.
Angel Baby though.
Yeah, Angel Baby was, I don't know. I like I've heard this
I like the chorus.
vocalist. Hmm?
I like the chorus.
I actually didn't like the chorus. I thought it was like I thought it was kind of weak. Like, I don't know. It sounded like, I don't know. I didn't like it so much. I feel like I've heard, cuz this guy also was on a song from uh what's the album with the planet? Is it called Planet?
Yeah.
Okay. You know the one with the planet? What's it called? Yeah.
Yep.
Like he was on a song for that, and I feel like his hook there was better, but I don't think it's not. It doesn't ruin the song though, because I think the verses have a pretty interesting like narrative. But what do you think about that in comparison to like, I don't know, the narrative of like uh what was the song? Feel So Sad, or yeah,
I Night and Day. I really think that Feel So Sad was actually followable. I
yeah.
really do much from Angel Baby.
What do you think about? I mean, I know. I guess I kind of agree with that because I feel like it's like random stories about how he avoided death that don't exactly connect. Though, like, I like the sound effects in it that kind of like add to the narrative, but I get what you mean. Like, they don't connect as much. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. But
Then we have On the Outside.
yeah, what'd you think of this one?
I think it was decent. Yeah, there is. I listen to these songs, and I'm gonna be honest. Like one or two of these songs, I have like zero memory of.
Yo, I feel that. Like, there's some tracks that
The
was
idea,
kind of on the outside for me. To me, it was kind of forgettable. I guess. Like, I don't know.
yeah, I don't know what he meant. To be honest with
Right.
you,
Yeah.
like I get money on the outside. My mind immediately thinks, was it like on the outside? Like
I
I,
mean, like, has Tech been to jail? I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't either. I mean, he was a blood back in the day. You know?
Yeah, yeah. The part there's a lot of old songs references like Pyru Crips and shit, and like, or not Crips, Pyrus and Bloods and shit. Um, he's always wearing red. Like, it makes sense. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah. On the outside was kind of like just it's like that other one, question mark this, where I was like, it's not bad. It's just very like forgettable. Like, it's very like, it didn't stick
What
with me.
the album?
Huh?
What did this do for the album?
Right, exactly. It's like, did it add a lot? So
Which I think is my major criticism whenever I listen to a Tech N9ne album. What does this do for the album?
he definitely has, and I found it with this one too. I feel like he definitely has some, or a lot of albums where I'm like, a majority of the songs when they hit, like they really hit. But
Yeah,
like, there's a lot that I'm like, you didn't really need this track. You're kind of just bulking up
yeah.
the album a bit. Like,
Like the best example for me was probably a album like Everready,
mhm.
or all sixes and sevens. But
Yeah,
then you, but then you can get like, what is it, special effects,
mm.
something like that, and yeah, that's about as much as you can get out of it. Is tracks like Speed Up and the big hits like that.
Yeah. Special effects I found was like there were a lot of tracks, but I feel like all of them were different. All of them added something. But they're definitely, I've heard Tech albums like all sixes and sevens where like some of my favorite Tech N9ne songs are on that, but then there's also songs that I'm like, I don't know why you included this. Like, there's like what, like 26 fucking songs on there or some shit. Like, it's
Yeah,
insane. It's insane, man. But yeah, so anyway, Doug, I begin to feel that way with tracks like Smell Good, which I personally wasn't a fan of, but what did you think about it?
I think my major question is just why. It just sounds like a song that Tech N9ne should not be doing.
Yeah, it doesn't. it's not his style. Clearly, man. Like,
He would use it to seduce someone, and not even in like a maniacal, like evil kind of way that he comes across.
hmm
It's kind of normal.
it's yeah. I mean, it's normal, like aesthetically wise, it's normal. But then, like, I don't know. I looked at the lyrics and like, it just I find it. I cringed when he was like talking about how like the girl thinks he smells good. I was like, I don't know. Like, I get that's a thing, and like it's very like attractive if someone smells good. But like, the way it sounds here is like so creepy to me that like. I picture he's outside like signing autographs and like chicks are just walking by like getting a whiff of him and that yeah and then just like fucking leaving or something like it's weird. I don't know, man. I don't know about that one.
Mm,
Yeah, like it's um I thought Stoli Doli was like a little bit better in like what he was trying to go for.
yeah,
What do you think about this one as far as like the vibe of it, I guess?
seemed a little bit more lighthearted and fun.
Yeah.
It seemed a little lighter, which is usually not texting, but I think it doesn't take itself too seriously, so I can just I can fuck with it.
Yeah, like this is not my favorite song on the album, but he sounds good on it. Like I think that Tech has this style where he could do like a melodic flow pretty well, and it sounds good here. So
Yeah,
I liked it. Yeah, the hook
he
was
could
kind of cool.
take away from anything of the album, which is definitely something I can't say about every song on this. So
Right. Again, like we said, some of them are kind of forgettable, and yeah, and the girl on this sounds like Janae Eiko to me. I don't know, like
speaking of forgettable, we have the next one, For Your Love.
For Your Love was very like. Is it just me, or is the guy on here sound like Rasta Young Thug? Right?
Is that just because his name's Marley Young?
I mean, look,
It doesn't
a
help.
little bit. That probably doesn't make me look good, but like a little bit. I do like the Marleys though. I'm a fan of. Yeah, no, I don't know. Like this guy, it's a weird track for me because I feel like I don't know. It sounds like he's trying to do like a Eminem recovery love song kind of thing, right? Like or a heartbreak song, right? Like
Yeah, you know.
the verses are kind of weird, and like I don't know. Like it seems like he's like calling this girl like a bitch and like a slut, but like he never really says what she does. You know what I mean? Like
No, no, I mean, you don't need to explain what she did when you're appealing to, when you're appealing to 14-year-old boys in middle school. You just need to vent your anger.
you know, I hate to agree with you, but it's true. This is definitely something I would listen to on like the bus in 8th grade and be like, man, like the girl that kissed me, she kissed another guy, like behind the school. Like I don't know, like it's yeah, it's a very I think it's kind of an immature track. We could sum it up like that, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I listen to Tech N9ne generally for the most mature music. But yeah, I
Well,
get
that
that.
too. Yeah, yeah. But what do you think about? I don't know because I don't think Marley Young sounds bad on this track though. Like I don't really like the incentive of it, but I don't think he sounds too bad on it.
No, but I don't think he makes up for it.
Yeah, it's not enough to. Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
He got,
B.I.B. So like,
I, I genuinely kind of like this album, but right now it just feels like I'm shitting on it.
that's the thing. There's some songs that I'm like, I don't know, man. Okay, yeah. So would B.I.B. be one of those songs that you shit on, Doug, or was this one that you liked on the album?
No, I actually really like it. It has a nice bluesy vibe to it.
Yeah, no, I think one of the best parts about it is the beat. Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and some big beat.
I think it's got a lot of soul. I think that's appropriate for like the narrative of it because
Yeah,
Tech again is talking about a little bit about his background and how he grew up in some depressing ways. But I think There's a lot of stories on here that like we've heard Tech N9ne go a storytelling route before, like on the album Something Else, but there's a lot of stories here like we haven't heard. I think that's a good selling point of it. You know, like some maybe we didn't want to, like on Leave It on the Flow, but
Leave It on the Flow,
yeah,
and then that time that a guy catcalled him.
yeah. Like aside from that, there's some good
It's like
stories here.
that, but
Yeah, it's aside from some cringe. And I like how Chris Calico like started his verse on VIB, but I feel like at the end he gets very like I don't know. It's like out of control his voice. I'm like, whoa, bro, whoa.
I like that.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I like parts of it. Like I feel like parts of it I was like, that's a little much, Chris, but parts of it I'm like, that's real soulful and passionate. So I've always liked his voice is unique. I've always liked his voice though. I've always been a fan of him. So even like his individual shit, I've always loved. Then we have Saw Something. This is one of my favorites, I would say. Um,
Yeah.
I like ISO's hook. I didn't know King ISO could sing like that. I was impressed. It was very soulful. It was very beautiful. I was very impressed with that. And Tech flowing with him on it is good. And I like it's spooky, man. It really is. That's the only way to describe it. Like it's spooky, but
I mean, honestly, that's kind of the realm that I like with, Calico and Tech.
mhm.
So I think it was pretty much what I wanted from that.
Yeah, it's definitely in that strange music Inc. comfort zone. But like if it look if it works it works, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And this one definitely did. It has like this. It's interesting to hear him talking about. I don't know, for listeners that don't know, like Tech N9ne's mother passed away, and he talks about it a lot in his music. I know this one kind of alludes to him like wanting to see like a ghost of her, or but like in a hopeful way. It's like eerie, but it's also hopeful. It's a very interesting track, I
Yeah.
would say. Yeah, it's
And
interesting.
also, he continues that on to the next track.
The hopefulness, yeah, on Casey Smile,
That
yeah,
smile, he is like talking directly to mom.
yeah.
And I really fuck with that track. It's really, in-depth track. I like it.
It's very meta. I like that you mentioned that he talked like directly to his mom because it's very meta considering like his mom is dead, which like you would think would give the track like a very like eerie, spooky tone, but like it sounds so hopeful,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like he's reminiscing on her in such a positive way. Like I love it. It's
Yeah. I think that I hope that this is, a good way for him to, work past.
yeah, it feels like you listen to this whole album and it is very dark at points, and then like when you hear Casey Smile, you're kind of like, oh, good for you. Like you're so happy for him. You're like, good for you. You're kind of accepting. You're at peace with a lot of things. Like he sounds very content, and it's just like, yeah, it's a groovy instrumental too. It's very groovy, which you don't hear from him a lot. So
Just a thought here. Would would Tech N9ne still if he actually became happy? If he just if he just wasn't angry at that shit.
yeah, I mean that's a good point. He is so good at. Not that Tech has never made a happy song, because he definitely has, but he is so good at like just like I don't know, putting out this like despair and this angst and this darkness just on the table, and I think fans like really kind of relate to him for that, and yeah, that's an interesting thought, man. I mean, I guess like what would you think if his next album sounded like Casey Smile, the whole thing did?
I mean, I'd be with it.
I'd be interested to hear like if he did it in that way. I think it'd be cool. Um,
I mean, my thing is like, if he did that, it would need to be like, Scully Dolly or PC Smile or ones like that.
we could definitely leave out Smell Good. Um,
To see just, I would love to see it if he just went completely and just made it like pop on an album.
That'd be honestly, yo, I'm kind of here for that. I feel like Tech has shown us he can do a lot of things. I feel like he'd pull it off somehow. Like I don't know, I'm here for it. So yeah, that'd be interesting. Okay, yeah. So what did you think about this project overall? Looking at the big picture of it.
I think I'm mixed. Like with most tech albums, I feel like I have to take it and sift through stuff.
Right. Yeah, I get that. I get that.
Like tech albums usually give you a ton of material, and then you have to kind of find the like half dozen ones you actually like.
Yeah.
You're
Hmm.
there, but you have a ton of like smell good on the outside, on the flow.
Fucking on the flow. I couldn't believe when I heard it. I was like, Tech, man, come on. Like, you're such a good writer. Come on, man. Like, I
I
agree with you though. I'm very mixed on this. There's definitely a few tracks I feel like are very forgettable, but there's some tracks to me that are like I don't know if I'd say my favorite Tech N9ne songs, but like definitely some highlights that I was really impressed with. Like yeah, no, like I know you didn't like this one as much, but the one with Flatbush, um, I liked personally. Like we were both talking about before, Casey's Smile is a very meta track. It's
Casey
impressive to
Smile,
hear though.
so sad. Dr. Shabazz,
Yeah, Dr. Shabazz had some parts I really liked as well. So um,
outdone.
yeah, I think I would rate this. It's not my favorite Tech album, but it's not the worst Tech album. I think I'd rate it. Uh, I'm gonna give it like 3.5 out of 5 Lay's potato chips because my brother left some in the room. We share a room. I'm looking at them out the corner of my eye. So, what would you rate this one overall? Out of 5, anything.
I would say, yeah, I'm gonna say a 3.5 or 7 out of 10.
We only do
Uh,
5 here, Doug. We don't do. You know what? Fine, fuck it, Doug. We'll give it a 7 out of 10. All right.
fine.
So Doug gives it a 7 out of 10. Um, out of 10, what? You need like a like a item or something. Like a
I'm trying to think of something funny. It's not coming out. Um,
that's all right, man.
7 out of 10 monster cans.
7 out of 10 monster cans. We do 5 on this show, but when we have guests, we could do 10. Listen, I'm open minded, Doug. I'm very open minded with this shit. So. All right, cool, man. Well, thanks so much for coming on and talk about this Tech N9ne album. I wish you luck in quarantine. I hope things get better out there in Connecticut, for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, we'll review some things in the future, possibly if you want to come back on, for sure.
Nope. Yeah.
All right, thank you guys.